Let's just shuffle. Let's just
Skip.
That used to be me. Now, I'm on the mission to create the perfect shuffle, where every song in the library is less than 50% skippable. What's up? I'm Trent Wizard. We're here in search of the perfect shuffle. Very first video of 2022, feeling really good about it. It's time for another segment of clearing out the archives, where I shuffle my music and whichever album pops up, that is the album I review song by song. Last time we shuffled our music and the album that popped up was Blonde on Blonde by Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan, I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said? Legendary folk, blues singer, amazing harmonica virtuoso, very famous talk singer, just an incredibly prolific musician. The amount of music that this guy has made in his lifetime is just insane. Just for reference, Blonde on Blonde came out in 1966, and it was his 7th album, and it's still in the first 5th of his discography. Like, this guy is a machine and he's still going, but this is one of those albums that musicians will mention as an influence for them. It's definitely one of his best known albums. So, how has Bob Dylan reached such legend status? Let's see if I can give you some idea as I review this album song by song. Just a warning, this album is 14 songs long, so I'm going to really try and keep it snappy and just give you the important information about each song. Track number 1 is called Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35. It's kind of a good old ragtime drinking song. I really love the subtle touches in this song. You know, the sound of the crowd as he sings, you know, really makes it feel like it's in a pub or something. There's this great tuba playing the bass line throughout. Really solid. Basically, this was on the Forrest Gump soundtrack, and for some reason, as a child, I listened to that soundtrack a lot, only disc 1, and I've never seen the movie. But I do feel nostalgic about this song, and I think it's a pretty good one. I would say this one is 35% skippable. Song number 2 is called Pledging My Time. It's one of a handful of pretty straightforward blues tracks. One thing that is definitely of note on these blues tracks is Bob Dylan's harmonica playing is crazy. This dude is wild. And I would say this one's my favorite blues track on the album. I would say it's 35% skippable. Track number 3 is called Visions of Joanna, and it shows off how poetic Bob Dylan is with his lyrics. I mean, the whole song is about how he's with another woman, but the whole time he's just thinking of Joanna. And he even refers to himself kind of in the third person as this woman's lover. But when he refers to his own thoughts about Joanna, he refers to himself in the first person. It's really, really beautiful song, very emotional. And it's just a scene that's perfectly set, something that Bob Dylan is great at. I would say this one is 25% skippable. Track number 4 is called One of Us Must Know, Sooner or Later. Another example of great lyricism. The thing I love about this track is that no instrument is idle. Nobody's just sitting in the background playing the rhythm. I mean, the organist in this track is going off, man. Like Granny from church came to play. The piano is giving these really cool textures. The drummer gives these amazing fills throughout the track. You would think that if every single person is playing a potentially amazing solo part, that it just would sound like a cacophony, but they all work together so well. It's really a masterpiece in that way, and I would say this one is also 25% skippable. Song number 5 is called I Want You, I Want You. It shows off Bob Dylan's talk singing, which at times can be very emotive, but at other times can be a little annoying, honestly. I would say this track is 40% skippable. Song number 6 is called Stuck Inside of Mobile with the Memphis Blues. Stuck inside of Mobile. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that. I really love the beautiful and clean guitar fills in this track, plucked and simple. The lyrics to this track have been picked apart over and over again, which just goes to show you I'm not the only one who thinks he's poetic. I'm sure that there are Bob Dylan scholars out there. One thing this track has going for it is that John Lennon didn't like it, so that's a gold star for me. I think that's great. Screw John Lennon. I would say this one is 25% skippable. Song number 7 is called Leopard Skin Pill Box Hat. It's another one of the blues tracks, and for me it gets pretty long, so I'd have to say this one is 65% skippable. Song number 8 is called Just Like a Woman, and what I love about this track is that it's really very delicate. There's this really beautiful picked acoustic guitar, there's these really lush textures thrown in there from the organ, and even a little bit from the harmonica. The piano is so much softer than any of the other tracks. All of these things come together to just give this really delicate feel. And the lyrics are just the icing on the cake. I would say this track is 30% skippable. Track number 9 is called Most Likely You Go Your Way and I'll Go Mine. It's not quite as emotionally poignant as some of the other tracks that I really enjoy on the album so far, but it is pretty fun still. I'd say it's 40% skippable. Track number 10 is called Temporary Like Achilles. It's another one of those straightforward blues tracks, although it's a little bit slower, a little bit more of a blues ballad. I guess I could say that he does keep the classic blues formula kind of fresh. It's hard for me because it just seems like a cover with different lyrics for a lot of blues tracks. The other problem I have with this one is it's a little bit clunky sometimes with just how the lyrics are spaced out, so I'd say this one is 55% skippable. Song number 11 is called Absolutely Sweet Marie. It's another solid track. It's not my favorite, it's not my least favorite. It fits right in the middle for me. I'd say it's 40% skippable. Song number 12 is called Fourth Time Around. My main complaint with this track is that there's not enough distinction or separation between verses and chorus and then the next verse, so it all just feels like one really long string of lyrics, which leads the song to just feel long. I would say this one is 60% skippable. Track number 13 is called Obviously Five Believers. This one's a rockin' tune. I love the energy that goes into it. And there's some great guitar work in there too. This one's 35% skippable. And track number 14 is called Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. Honestly, this is just such a beautiful send-off for the album. A really lovely closing track. It feels like a very long, sweet poem and gives us a satisfying ending to the experience that we just had listening to this whole album. So I would say that it's 35% skippable. Mathematically, adding everything up, this album as a whole is only 39% skippable. Bob Dylan is one of those artists that can seem outdated if you don't listen to his music. You know, your dad listened to him, he's kind of a relic of the 60s, he's got that weird voice, yeah. But here's the thing, if you listen to this album specifically, I can't speak for all of his albums, but for this one, I've got to say that these tracks are beautiful, they're gorgeous, they're intricate, they're skillfully performed, and they're emotional, they're timeless. Alright, let's shuffle our music, see which album I'll be reviewing next. Alright, we're just going to go into our music library here, go into albums, and hit shuffle. Okay, looks like the next album I'll be reviewing is Absolution by Muse. If you like what I'm doing here, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, let me know what you think about Bob Dylan, let me know what you think about Blonde on Blonde. I believe that all musical opinions are valid, and I'd love to hear yours. I will leave links in the description below for my playlist for Best of 2021, as well as my playlist for Best of 2022, which is already growing really fast. There's been a lot of great music so far this year. I'm Trent Windsor, and this is The Perfect Shuffle.